Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is final practice ahead of the 2022 Mexico City Grand Prix. If you are new to the channel, if you are a Formula 1 fan, then get yourself subscribed. I'm live for every single qualifying and every single race from the Formula 1 World Championship. This weekend is round 20 of 22. We are nearing the end of the first season on this channel. So please do drop me a like as well. It really helps out the channel, helps YouTube notice me, put me in the right category, and hopefully we can start growing the channel properly from next season onwards. I think this season has been kind of an experimental year for me, seeing what works, what doesn't, what I can do on the channel, what I can't do, what, you know, it's been an experience, it's been an experiment. And then, but I think when we come back next March, obviously there'll be a couple of months with not a lot on the channel in between. You know, when it's Christmas and that, and then when we come back in March, I think we really try and push and see if we can crack the YouTube algorithm and see if we can get a few more in for season 2. So yes, guys, how are we doing? Bolton lost. Depressing one. They've had a few lucky escapes, haven't they, Bolton, recently? So, you know, the luck ran out, I suppose. Because didn't Bolton have 2 amazing comebacks in the last 2 games? You know, so they were on a fine line, weren't they? Anyway, Ernesto's in. Welcome in, Ernesto. Ryan Tune, SHT. How we doing, bro? How are we? He's depressed. Alpine managed to help Alonso retain his P. Yeah, I was saying yesterday that the fact that that's been overturned has kind of mucked me up, because I spend a while doing all the stats and like how many points everyone's got, and you know, I go through it on a preview, which I'll do tomorrow night before the race starts. I've got all the stats and like all the positions and all the points and all that. Well, everyone from P7 down, it's all changed. So the top 6 is correct, but everyone from P7 down, I've got to redo it all again. So I'm like, oh, I'll sort it out. It's one of them, because everyone's points changed. Because like the guy that finished 7th is now 8th. The guy that was 8th is now 9th. The guy that was 9th is now 10th. Oh, it's changed everything. So I'll go back and redo all the stats. But yeah, other than that, we've got a Halloween theme tonight. For qualifying, I'll probably go back to just a normal photograph of the circuit. But I thought, let's have a bit of a Halloween theme. It's just practicing it. It's not going to be... you know what I mean? It's not going to be a million viewers anyway. So I thought I'll have a bit of fun in it. Get the pumpkins in the back and all that. Farhan's in. Yeah, welcome in. Ernesto SHT. FIA even tell us the wrong duration for them to make the protest. Yeah, this is what they got them on, isn't it? This is how they got the decision overturned. That Haas had protested too late or something, which, you know, the simplicity of Formula 1, eh? It is overcomplicated, isn't it? You know, initially Haas had 30 minutes to submit their protest, but the race director said they had 1 hour to submit it. Yeah, so they must have submitted it after that 30-minute period, and therefore it's like it's not a valid protest. Mad one. Like they know the rules. I don't know the rules, man. It's got, you know, it ain't easy knowing all the rules of this game. Tell you now, I know some of them enough to get by, but you know, it's a flipping nightmare. Been going off in F1 as well, looking at the news. Yeah, man. Red Bull, obviously, with the big punishment. I think it's a big punishment anyway. Not the $7 million, by the way. $7 million fine to, you know, more or less the biggest Formula 1 team in the world, the biggest racing company in the world, is, you know, probably like finding me or you a tenner, Farhan. So the $7 million is not the punishment. The punishment is 10% less wind tunnel time. But I went through all that yesterday. We won't get into that, but put it this way, 10% less wind tunnel time is significant. Sorry, I may say, Michael Massey didn't make many mistakes. Massey back. Yeah, bring Massey back. It's like when the football fans get their manager sacked, and then like a few months later they realise that, hang on a minute, the grass wasn't greener on the other side. Bring him back. Right, I'm just watching Sky Sports. What are they on about? Yeah, so final practice starts in about 3 or 4 minutes, and it will be a hectic final practice session because yesterday FP2 was not relevant in the slightest. They were testing 2023 tyres, which that was quite a difficult stream to get through. An hour and a half of a tyre test wasn't the most exciting, entertaining kind of a stream, but we got through it. And what it means now is that this final practice session is critical. Let me get the headphones on. Let's hear what's going on. Let's hear what's going on. The traffic's on a madness downtown Mexico City. Yeah, crazy one. Right. Yeah. So this practice session becomes crucial for running. You know. They've not had a lot of running, especially the guys that missed FP1 through a few youngsters did FP1. So it'll be a busy practice session this, and they'll be really showing the hand for the first time. Obviously FP1 you're not really showing your hand of what kind of a pace you've got. FP1 was you're just getting used to the circuit, getting kind of what balance you're going to use and what setup you're going to be using. Then FP2 was a tyre test, so this is the first proper session, and then we get into qualifying later on tonight. I'll be live 8:45 UK time for qualifying starting at 9 p.m. But yeah, Michael Massey, yeah, the thing is, he messed up big time, didn't he, Michael Massey? I think the biggest problem with Michael Massey was that he was influenced by Toto Wolff and Christian Horner. That was his weakness. Never mind what decision he made or didn't make or did do or didn't do. The point is, for me, in my opinion, the point is he was influenced by whether it's be Toto Wolff, Christian Horner, whoever else was on the phone to him. He was influenced in his decisions where he would change his mind. He kept changing his mind. And that's the weakness. You know, if you want to be a referee, or, you know, because he's basically the Formula One referee in a way. If you want to be the referee, you can't be changing your mind because of an opinion of one team or opinion of that guy. You're going to make your mind up and stick with it and say, right, we're not going to have a race. The race ends now, or we are not. Someone getting on the phone and going, come on, Michael, let's get racing. Then you think, oh, all right, then let's get racing. Whoa, you know, that was his weakness. He was influenced. And that's why I believe that's why he lost his job. Not because of the wrong decision, but because he was influenced by Toto and Christian. Yeah, it's new FIA order made 3 errors in the last 3 races. All go. The FIA are a nightmare recently, aren't they, SHT? Yeah, the FIA are not having a good time of it at the moment. Happy birthday, Lance Stroll on the screen. Lance Stroll 24. That's mad, you know. Lance Stroll 24. Do you know? Do you know Lance Stroll was about 18 when he come into F1? It's mad. Like, Lance Stroll's had like 5 or 6 seasons now, at least. When did Lance Stroll come in? Like 17. It's like his 6th year. What's going on? Yeah, Stroll 24 today. What was I saying? Yeah, the FIA have had an absolute nightmare on the last few races. Their reputation isn't looking fantastic at the minute. Joe had issues in FP1, FP2 yesterday, which was very concerning. What happened in FP? He broke down at the end of FP2, didn't he, Joe? Did he break down FP1 as well? Nightmare. Practice about to get underway any second now. The Ferraris aren't coming out of the garage immediately, though. They're just chilling. No tyres on that yet. Nicholas Latifi, 20th in the championship on 2 points. Yeah. But 20th isn't bottom in this championship. There's 22 drivers in this championship, if you count Nick De Vries and Nico Hulkenberg, who have done a couple of substitute appearances. And there's Max with the Red Bull. Right, let me get the timer on. 58. Yeah. Oh, we're underway. Valtteri Bottas is out on circuit. 5, 4, 2, 1. Right, timer on. We don't need the 00, do we? We know it's. Oh, for God's sake! There we go. Right. How are we doing? Yes, DB. Welcome in. FP1. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it, with Zhou Guanyu? Yeah, he broke down at the end of the pit lane and they couldn't recover the car properly. Let me refresh the live timings because we're underway. I might not need refreshing, actually. It might be all right. Yeah, so we've got 4 cars out on circuit. Yeah, if the name is in white, they're out on track. If it's dulled out grey, they're in the garage. They're in the pits. They're in the garage. So that's how you can tell that apart. So we've got, as you can see, 4 cars out on circuit. Bottas, Zhou, Stroll and Vettel first out of the pits for final practice. And in fact, let me... I think Zhou's gone back into the pits. Let me refresh this. I always have to refresh it at least once. Yeah. But yeah, welcome in. What are we saying? SHT? Then K-Mag gets a 5-place grid penalty for his ICE change after Fittipaldi's car had issues in the FP1. Back-to-back weekends, K-Mag has become the victim of misfortunes. Oh, nightmare. Yeah, there we go. That should be properly live now. The timings. Hey, the benefit of having the Halloween theme and it's being all dark and black is at least all these colours of the sector times and what tyre they're on and the names and all that will stand out a treat. That'll be easy to read because if I've got like a colourful background, it makes it hard to tell. So, you know, maybe I should do Halloween theme every week. No, I try and take the colour out of the background because it clashes too much. But yeah, we can really see the lap times and all that now with this. Yeah, Halloween theme for the win. Last week, Giovinazzi crash. Ah, yeah. And now Fittipaldi had engine issues. Yeah, so he's lent out his car twice. And it's been mucked up both times, yeah. Giovinazzi in Austin and then Fittipaldi yesterday. I was saying yesterday, I don't think I got to the bottom of it, but when I saw Fittipaldi on circuit, I was saying SHT, I was saying I'm sure he did a couple of races for Haas. You know when I was trying to remember. I think he subbed in for Grosjean, didn't he? At the end, was it the end of 2020? I was thinking, I was like, he's done a couple of races. Him. And I think at the end of 2020, after Grosjean had that horrendous crash with the fire and everything, I think he subbed in for Grosjean, didn't he? Yeah, final 2 races. Yeah, because I was thinking, I'm sure I've seen him in before. But I don't know what series they're in because his brother as well, Enzo. Is Enzo Fittipaldi in F2? But what series is Pietro in? They're not both in F2, are they? Or is Pietro? Is he in IndyCar or what? Or Formula E or what? I don't even know. Yeah, Hamilton out there now. We've got a good chunk of drivers out there now. Hamilton really nursing the tyres on an outlap, and we'll see what they've got. See what Mercedes have got in this session because I saw a headline before I came live saying that George Russell's feeling positive about the pace this weekend. Can Mercedes challenge as he did in Austin? So close to the win for I don't need that. So close to the win for Lewis in Austin, wasn't it? What a race it was that last week. You know, the championship might have been won. Everything might have been wrapped up, but what a race we got last week in Austin. And I was rooting for Lewis. I really was at the end. I was thinking, please hold on, but in the end, he couldn't. Yeah. Ricciardo says sign off for the season. Do you know what? I did. I put a tweet. Not that me tweeting's important, but I've had a thought. Is what I mean. That if I'm McLaren, right, I would. Well, they've not done this. But I would have seriously considered putting Piastri in for the last 3 races. Because Daniel Ricciardo, I feel like Daniel Ricciardo's mental state is so bad that if I'm McLaren, I think, do we just stop the bleeding now? Do we just stop the bleeding now and put Piastri in now? And then it can't be any worse. It can't be any worse, and it gives Piastri a crucial bit of experience before 2023. If he gets to do the last 2 or 3 races of this season, you know, that gives him a little heads up so that he's not jumping in cold next season. You know what I mean? It gives him a little bit of a experience. 2 or 3 races, bang. I'd have done it. I'd have said, you know, and it'd probably cost a lot of money in like payout or whatever, but I'd have gone, listen, Daniel, have an early break. Listen, Daniel, you've been great for us, but we feel like you're not performing up to scratch at the minute, and your mental state is not up to scratch. And we're terminating the contract right now. Yeah, I think it's just. Did anyone hear the interview that he gave after the US Grand Prix last week? The what do they call it? The driver pen interview afterwards. He was just like, he might as well have said, "Oh, there's no point. I might as well just give up now." You know what I mean? That's the attitude. The attitude was like, I can say hello, I can say goodbye, but the stuff on track, forget it. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, if I'm McLaren, if I'm Zach Brown, or what's the guy on the pit wall, Andreas Seidel. If I'm Seidel or Zach Brown or whoever makes the decisions, I'm thinking, sling it, mate. Get Piastri in. 2 or 3 races, bang. What do you think? It probably costs more in paying him out, but I would do that. You can't have an attitude like that. He's given up. He's thrown in the towel. And the thing is, you put Piastri in, yeah, he hasn't got the experience or any of that, but you know, Piastri might struggle and finish P17, but Ricciardo's finishing 17th anyway. No point. What atrocious showing by it. I know. It was so bad. It was one of the worst that. You know, Ricciardo's had a pretty grim couple of years, but it's getting worse. I'd have slung it, man. I'd have gone, do you know what? You're out now. Because I feel like Ricciardo's just going to cruise these last 3 races and not really care. And he's just going to cruise to like P16 finishes for 3 races and not really give a damn. Would you have that? Or would you rather have a young driver that's out to prove something, that's got the seat for next year, that's looking to soak up any information, fully motivated, you know, the next big thing in Formula 1, massive hype, yeah, stick him in for 2 races. You know, Daniel was very, very, very good in his Red Bull days. You know, he was one of the best out there, but I'm sorry, but the last 2 seasons, man, I don't know what's going on. And now he's thrown in the towel. I wouldn't have even brought him to Mexico. I'd have gone, do you know what, Daniel? Have an early Christmas, lad. Have an early Christmas. Take some time off. Get your head together. And one of them. McLaren won't do it. The driver's contract has not ended. Yeah, but the thing is, SHT, is he had a contract for next year. with McLaren. You know, that they terminated that. You can do anything if you're willing to pay someone off. You can do what you want. You know, you see football managers get signed up on a 5-year deal. 6 months in, it's not work. Bang, sacked. You know what I mean? As long as you're willing to afford a big payout, I'd do it. If I was McLaren, I'd say, listen here, have another 5 million. We're taking Piastri. I'm sorry, mate. It'd be a statement of intent as well for McLaren that if they did that, because I feel like Ricciardo's on full cruise settings. Anyway, back to what's happening in practice. It'd be great. Yeah, exactly. I think it would have been a good idea. It was too harsh. Flop of the year. Flop of the year, without a doubt. Flop of the year. Yeah, who's been like standout of the year? If Ricciardo and Latifi have been the flops. I mean, Latifi was never highly rated anyway. Who's been standout? I say George. Obviously Max, but that's predictable, isn't it? I say George has been pretty standout. Fernando's been good as well. And Vettel, actually, in the last half dozen races, Vettel's been fantastic. As Lewis crosses the line then for P5, 1 minute 20.4. So at the moment, with 15 minutes gone in this final practice session, it is Russell, Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, Hamilton top 5. There's a replay on board with Hamilton. Into the stadium section he goes, and yeah, just too late on the brakes, and goes wide. Brake dust. Gasly is also a flop of the year. Do you know what? You're right. You're right. Gasly's not. You know, if you were to do like a video of like Pierre Gasly highlights 2022, are there any clips? You know what I mean? Are there any clips? Pierre Gasly, F1 2022. Oh no, man. I mean, I know they've not had a good car. I mean, I think Gasly had a good race in which one was it? Azerbaijan or something. I think he was like 6th or 7th. You know, so there's your highlight. You know, I think he was like 6th or 7th. In these headphones keep falling off my head, falling off the back of my head. Oh, yellow flag. You know. Oh, Mick Schumacher spun. Oh, come on, Mick. Ain't nobody say that Mick's been a flop. Well, he might have been. Oh, Mick. He's not hit anything. He's not hit anything or anyone. It's all right. Mick's just spun and he's flat spotted the tyres. So those tyres are written off, but the car's still in one piece. So he's spun where Verstappen spun yesterday. He must have taken too much curb at turn 8, is it? Too much curb turn 9 and just ooh, thank goodness he kept out of the wall on that one. P5 in Azerbaijan, yeah, it's probably the highlight. But yeah, Gasly's not been fantastic, but you know, the car's not been great, has it? So it's a big year for Pierre next season, isn't it? You know, 2023 is massive. I can't wait for Gasly v Ocon at Alpine. If they build a quick car as well, Alpine, I'd love to see either a McLaren or an Alpine build a rocket next season, you know, and get in the mix. You know, because we've had this thing where it's, you know, we've had Red Bull and Mercedes. I'd love to see McLaren come out of the blocks next season with a rocket ship. You know, and it's Norris fighting for wins. Or Alpine come out of the blocks with a rocket ship. And you've got Gasly up there on the regular podiums. Or you've got like, Ocon regular podiums. I'd love to see one of those like midfield teams that step up. Or imagine Aston Martin. Imagine Aston Martin come out next season with a rocket ship. And all of a sudden you've got like Alonso, right up at the sharp end. I'd love it. I'd love that. It's been like... Pierre went from pit lane to P9 in Spa. Pierre, yeah, it's scored the odd point. They've got a few points here and there, haven't they? But I think they're P9 in Constructors. AlphaTauri, they've had a nightmare of a season, really. You know, I think they're 9th. Which is second bottom. It's relegation zone. It's not a league. No, it's not good. But yeah, big year for Gasly next season. I think it'd be great battle. Ocon v Gasly. Oh, that'd be nip and tuck. I reckon Piastri's going to turn up with some kind of a pace as well and put Norris under pressure, which would be great to see as well. Concern for Alpine engine reliability. Yeah, but even if they've got poor reliability, I'd just love to see him have a rapid car. You know what I mean? Like an outside shot. You know, just someone out of nowhere builds a rocket. Love it. AlphaTauri progression, always a question mark. Yeah, they'd be good one season, next season drop down. It is. It is really inconsistent. One year they can be like 4th fastest car, and next season they can be the 9th fastest car. Yeah. Mad one. I feel like McLaren are a bit up and down like that as well. And certainly Aston Martin have been like that with the transition from Force India to then Racing Point, and now Aston Martin. It's like they've taken, you know, they were taking steps forward and then they've taken 5 steps back. And it's only now in this latter half of this season that Aston Martin have started gathering it back a bit. And I think they're really close to Alfa Romeo in Constructors now. I think they'll get P6 in the end, Aston Martin. But yeah, 41 minutes to go. Not really talked much about on-track action. But Mick Schumacher up there, P8 at the minute on the soft tyres. Screw on the Mick. But yeah, top 5 on the... I tell you what, Russell half a second quicker than... Verstappen hasn't set a time, interestingly. It's weird. Russell half a second quicker than Perez, Sainz and Leclerc. A full nearly... Well, he's over a second quicker than Lewis. Heck of a lap by George early in the session. Cheers, Ernesto. Yeah, hit the like, guys. I'll be back for quali 8:45 UK time. Join me for that one later on. Aston Martin wasn't as bad. No, it was, well, the first few races, the Aston was pretty grim, wasn't it? But they certainly come through. We're watching Yuki Tsunoda full Tokyo Drift mode through the first sector, and he's still personal best despite a handful of oversteer. I think he's eased off as Tsunoda there, has he? And he's on a quick lap, is he? No, he's not on a quick lap, is he there? But yeah, so it's Russell, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Hamilton top 5. Then we've got on the medium tyres Lando Norris and Valtteri Bottas 6th and 7th. Mick Schumacher there on the soft tyres in P8. And then it's Ocon, Zhou, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Stroll, Vettel, Latifi. Then 2 AlphaTauris, Tsunoda, Gasly, Albon, Verstappen. Hasn't set a proper lap yet. Down there in P19. And Alonso as well without a lap time. Last but not least, as Tsunoda goes P13, but it seemed like quite a scruffy lap. When they forced into it constantly in the midfield, yeah, 6th, 5th, 4th. Then they became Aston Martin. Where were they last year? I mean, in no man's land, weren't they? Just in the middle of yeah, replay of Yuki Tsunoda's full sideways moment coming out of turn 3. Yeah. Yeah, the same Verstappen can get the most points in a single season. The thing is, this thing about the most race wins in a season, it's not really a fair comparison when there's more races in a season. You know what I mean? How can Michael Schumacher... What you've got to go off, which is more representative, is winning percentage is the way. You can't... Max winning more races than anyone's in a single season... Well, yeah, he's got 22 races. Back in Schumacher's day, there was 16 races. So he's got another 6. So it's not really a fair... It's not really a fair stat, is it? It's like having top goal scorer in football, but some matches are longer than others. You know, some matches are 90 minutes, but some matches are 120. Some matches... Like, in some years, like, the games aren't 90 minutes. Some years the games are 2 hours. It's like, well, yeah, he's going to score more goals, isn't he? He's got more time. It's not really a fair stat, that. So you've got to go off winning percentage. I saw a picture of the most dominant cars in Formula One, and this Red Bull, I think it's in the top 6 or 7 of all time most dominant cars. I think it's won. It was something like 85% or something like that. But the most dominant car in F1 was that McLaren, Senna and Prost McLaren. I think it was 88. It won 15 out of 16 races. Yeah, it was like 90. You know what I mean? It's like 96% or whatever. And then I think after that there's a Ferrari 2002 Ferrari which was dominant. I think they won like, I don't know, 15 out of 17 or whatever it is. And then then there's like 3 Mercs. Then you got like the 2014 Merc, the 2016 Merc, and then you got one of Vettel's Red Bulls, like 2013 Red Bull, and then you got this Red Bull as dominant cars. Cheers, Ernesto. Gone for a Halloween theme Saturday night. Why not? Why not? For qualifying, I'll probably go back to just the picture of the racetrack. Hopefully we get a few more people in for that. But for it's practice. It's nearly Halloween, you know. Saturday night, whack it on, get some pumpkins going. And what the good thing about it is the graphics really stand out, so you can see all the lap times and all the flipping sectors all light up better, and what tyres are on. Everything's clearer, so you know, in a way, it looks better. Yeah, 7th. They started off good, but dropped off. Yeah. Oh, Aston Martin. Yeah, last season they got a couple of podiums. They Vettel got a couple of podiums, I think, but pretty anonymous, wasn't it? Aston Martin last season, and then you know. Yeah, not easy to transform from one team to another. Not easy to transform from Racing Point to Aston Martin. Not easy. I think Verstappen's just gone quickest on the soft tyres there. They're on an ad break, so I don't know what's going on. But on the timing screens, Verstappen has gone... What's he done? 2/10 quicker than George Russell. So it is now Verstappen, Russell, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Hamilton, top 6. But I think Mercedes will come back strong next season. I think we're in for an absolute banger of a season next season. I think Mercedes come back strong. I feel like Ferrari need to change the management. If I'm Ferrari, I'd get rid of Matteo Binotto. Bring back Arriva Bene. I don't know what he's doing now, but bring back Maurizio Arriva Bene at Ferrari. Sort of get, you know what I mean? Smack their heads together and sort it out. They need an organisational. They need a fresh leadership, I feel, at Ferrari. Mercedes have come back with a stronger car. Mercedes have probably ditched the jelly mold side pod concept, I think. I think next year's Mercedes will come out looking like a Red Bull. I mean, if they do stick with this no side pod concept, then fair play, but I think they're going to ditch it. But we're seeing a replay of Max Verstappen, who went wide at turn 4. But has gone quickest by just over a tenth of a second over George Russell. But yeah, I think we're in for absolute banger of a season next season. Mercedes will have learnt from the mistakes of this year. Well, mistakes not operationally, but mistakes in terms of aerodynamic concept, shall we say. They'll come back fighting. Lewis will come back fighting next season. Ferrari need a change of management and organisation, and they can challenge. And then Red Bull, with the less wind tunnel time, brings them down a peg, you know? So Red Bull being brought down a peg and Mercedes and Ferrari stepping it up a peg. Now we've got it, you know what I mean? Now we've got a championship. Then, you know, if Alpine can build a quick car, like we're saying, if Alpine build a quick one, or McLaren just add an extra level of spice and let's go. Can't wait. Really pray Aston is good next season, because I think it could be very interesting. Yeah. Can you imagine if they do? They come out with like a genuinely competitive car. When was the last time we saw an underdog team come out with a competitive car where you go, wow, this is actually quick, you know? Like, damn, it's quick, man. Probably the Racing Point, but they copied Mercedes, didn't they? It was a pink Mercedes. I remember that in winter testing when they come out with that pink Mercedes in winter testing. I remember the shockwaves that caused. It's like, wow, they've gone quickest in day 1 winter testing or whatever. That was absolute. That was brilliant. Verstappen goes quickest. 1:19.1. And half the session's done. So it's Verstappen, Russell, Perez, top 3. And did Perez hold up Verstappen there? Or are they trying a slipstream strategy down the front straight? I don't know. I'd be happy if Aston can fight for best of the rest. Yeah. I think realistically, if they can fight for 4th, that's probably the target. But I'd love to see one of the midfield teams just turn up at Barcelona or Bahrain, wherever the winter testing is, and just like steal the headlines. And you're thinking, here we go. You know what I mean? Yeah, David Croft picking up on the fact that Red Bull might be testing a Monza-style towing your teammate down the straight scenario. I don't know if it's worth doing. Potentially it is. It's a long straight. Oh, and incidentally, it's the longest run down to turn 1 this circuit. So from where they start the race down into turn 1, I think it's, I can't remember how long they said, 800 metres or whatever it is. It's the longest run down to turn 1, so it's always an interesting turn 1 at the Mexican Grand Prix. I've seen them go 3-4 wide into turn 1. So look out for the start of the race tomorrow night. brought an underdog team for 2009 season because, yeah, initially Honda before then. Yeah, that was the last big, like, proper upset, I think. Because then from 2010 onwards, it was Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari. Yeah. And then Lotus turned up, didn't they? And how did it work, that? Was it Renault? And then it became Lotus and then it went back to Renault again. Flipping confusing. Because they come up with a good car, didn't they? I remember Raikkonen winning Australia once, round 1. You know what I mean? Turning up, bang, Team Lotus. Well, there was a huge dispute over the name, over the Team Lotus name. Flipping nightmare. But yeah, we're on board with a flying lap of Carlos Sainz. Here we are into turn 4 hairpin and immediately switching. Yeah, Carlos Sainz is not on a flying lap here, I don't think. As we go off board. They are struggling with that curb at turn, is it turn 8? If I think 4, 5, does that count as 2, 6, 7? 8, the left hand at turn 9. They struggle with the curb at turn 9. You can't take too much of it. I wonder if they've changed that from last season, or whether it's just because these cars are with a sensitive floor can't ride the curbs as well. I don't know. Oh yeah, Lotus 2012. Yeah, Lotus 2012. They turned up with a quick car. That's what I want to see. I want to see a Lotus 2012 scenario next season where it's bang, Aston, Rapid, or something like that. That would be a game changer. Hi Rob, no worries. Neil popped in to say hello. Cheers, mate. Got a daughter staying this weekend. Yeah, no worries, Neil. Yeah, back. Yeah, R7 tomorrow for the race. Lights out at 8. Cheers, Neil. Sainz didn't have a good time this season. Or his 60 NFs. Yeah, 60 NFs. Who's got more than that? Bottas, probably. They've got to be leading the way on DNFs. Sainz and Bottas are a nightmare. How many DNFs has Tsunoda got? He's got a fair few as well. They've got to be the bottom 3 in terms of DNFs. Yeah, Bottas had 3 in a row. Bottas has probably had 6 DNFs in the last 9 races. He's brutal, man. He's absolutely horrific. Alonso's had a few DNFs as well. I feel like Alonso's had 4 or 5. Yeah, mad one. Alonso's had 4, yeah. Not good, is it, that? You won't 1, really. 1 is you can live with. You know, you're lucky to get a full season done without any mechanical failure during the race, you know. Well, 1 or 2, all right. You can get. When you're getting where you've got 4 DNFs, it's just. And Sainz with 6 is crazy. That's like a third of the season. Oh no, it's not. It's a bit more than a quarter of the season. You mean it's like a quarter of the races you're not finishing? You haven't got a chance, have you? Here's replay on board. Mick Schumacher turn 2, going right over the orange curbs. Too aggressive. Is that the line they're taking? They're bouncing over that orange curb on the inside of turns 2 and 3. It's too aggressive, I think. Surely you're better off smoother. Another replay on board with Mick turn. Oh, and the rear just snaps. Turn 9. Oh, you've got to be careful there. Especially when it comes to quali. Low fuel and flipping flat out low fuel in quali. I think we'll see someone spin at that quick middle sector, definitely. Sainz has had no DNS. No way. Science has gone from 0 DNFs to 6. At least 6. There's still another 3 races to go. That's wild. The thing that's mad for me is that the reliability has been so bad. Well, they've sorted it out now. You know, I'm talking first half of the season, right? The reliability was really bad with Red Bull and Ferrari. And I was thinking, how is it so bad? Because the power unit's the same. Everything else has changed. All the aerodynamics, you know, the entire concept of the car. With the, you know, now it's like a ground effect car. So the entire concept of the aerodynamics has changed. The power unit's the same, as far as I know. So why were they blowing engines up? That made no sense to me. I mean, it's dried up that now. They've got a hand of it. You don't really see them popping their engines every week now. But the first half of the season, it was both of them had a nightmare, reliability-wise. You know, Max DNF 2 out of the first 3. Like, what the hell went wrong there? Maybe they had to package it in a different way. Maybe it's the same power unit, but with the changes in aerodynamics, maybe they had to package things differently. Maybe they had to move components round. God only knows. And it's Russell Hamilton 1-2 now. Okay, Russell set a 1:18.4 and Hamilton a 10th.5 off it. So Mercedes 1-2, Red Bull 3-4, Ferrari 5-6. Alexander Albon P7 in the Williams, 2 seconds off the pace. But yeah, only that top 8 has been out on the soft tyres apart from Latifi and Magnussen, who are way down the pack. So yeah, that top 8 on the soft tyres, and Mercedes looking decent. Could this be the race that Mercedes win? They nearly pulled it off in Austin. Could this be the one where they go one better, where Lewis goes one better? And it'd certainly be interesting in quali in a couple of hours, if they can carry that speed through. Oh yeah, apologies, Commander. Apologies, lad. Yeah, I've been having nightmares this weekend with the internet. So apologies for that. I'll reset it in between this practice session and quali. I'll reboot everything and see if that helps. But yeah, it was a nightmare yesterday as well. So apologies for that. Science. Yeah, Zhou and Bottas 5 each. That's crazy. Zhou and Bottas, so both Alfa Romeos, they've had a total of 10 DNFs. And we're at round 20. It's mad, isn't it? Albon 4. See, Leclerc and Latifi with 3. If you'd have asked me how many DNFs Leclerc got, I'd have said more than 3. I'd have said 4 or 5. I suppose Leclerc's DNFs, what, France? France had binned it. Azerbaijan, I remember it blowing up in Azerbaijan, and that was like, oh my God. What was his other one? I don't know. Albon got 4. Back-to-back Singapore, Japan. Yeah, and he wasn't well, was he, either? Maybe that has something to do with it. Albon's been... only Norris out on circuit at the minute, look at that. Only P11 Lando Norris out on track, everyone else greyed out in the garage. Oh, Spain. Oh, Spain. Oh, yes, Spain. I remember that. That had a lot of views, that Spanish Grand Prix. I think it had like 3,500 people. I don't think it's been as... The peak of this channel was 2 months in. Mate, that makes sense. It's been downhill since May. Work that one out. I started in March. Peak was May. And now it's dead. Maybe it's the stream keeps lagging out. Probably something to do with it. No, that's just been an issue this weekend. It's not normally an issue, to be fair. But yeah, Spanish Grand Prix was a banger. I remember, Leclerc DNF'd, and then Russell and Verstappen were fighting for the win, I think. It was Russell v Verstappen for the win. I remember going absolutely nuts. Being like, Russell's in the lead. What's going on? It was mad. I had like hundreds of people in chat, you know what I mean? I was like, what the hell's going on here? Comments flying in. Russell in the lead, fighting with Verstappen. I was thinking, I was like, this channel's going to the moon. Give it another 6 months, or you know what I mean? We'll be. Nope, that was the peak. That was as good as it got. But we battle on, innit? We're on a slow grind. We're on the slowest grind the world's ever seen, but we're still going. Spain, Azerbaijan, Vettel and Stroll are 2 each. Yeah, Merck's only 1 each. Has anyone had a clean season? No DNFs. I don't think anyone has, have they? No one's gone the full season so far. Yeah, Russell with the British Grand Prix carnage at the beginning, and then Hamilton. Which race is he? Do you know? But yeah, 16.5 minutes to go. They're back off an ad break. Only De Vries and Hulkenberg, yeah. Yeah, De Vries and Hulkenberg. Reliability issue free. Yeah, full-time drives all at DNFs. In the Mercedes dominance days, you know, Lewis used to go through full seasons without DNFs. You know what I mean? Full season with no issues. Like 2020 or something like that. I think he went the full year. Madness. Oh yeah, DNF in Spa. That's right. We got flipped in the air. Yeah, he got flipped in the air, and then he got a puncture, and he parked at Blanchimont. That's it, and then had to walk back to the pits. I remember now. Yeah, Russell was he was involved with the Zhou Guan Yu. And so Verstappen's backed out of this flying lap. So it is still going to be Mercedes 1-2. Oh, the Mercedes going to finish the final practice session 1-2 and lay the gauntlet down for qualifying. Are they on the pace? It might have taken them 20 races to catch up, but maybe they've caught up. It's a shame the championships are already won and it's game over. But I think they've caught up. No, I think if Max gets a perfect lap together on a fresh set of soft tyres, he'll probably blast them out of the water. Ferrari not really shown the hand today so far. See what they can do in quali. I'm sure that once you get to the low fuel settings, balls to the wall, you probably see Leclerc and Sainz right at the sharp end as well. Norris DNF Miami. Oh yeah, and that was a silly one as well for Norris. He tripped over Gasly, didn't he? I remember that one. That was a silly incident. So really, Norris has had a mechanical. Well, so have the Mercs, really. The Mercs and Lando haven't had mechanical failures. They're like mechanical DNFs. Because a DNF due to a crash, it's a different category. So, Mercedes have been really good in terms of making the most out of it. You know, when Ferrari have floundered, when Red Bull have messed it up, Mercedes have always picked up the pieces this season. So, you know, they made the most out of the third best car, haven't they? They've got pretty much the maximum amount of points they could get this season with the car that they've got. As Ricciardo starts a flying lap, 13 minutes to go in the final practice session. He's down in P19 at the moment, is Daniel Ricciardo. Full 3.1 seconds off the pace. But now he's on the soft tyres and he'll be looking to get into the top 10 with this, I would imagine. Norris has gone P4, by the way. But full second off the pace with Bottas P5 in the Alfa Romeo. Ricciardo personal best sector 1. Through the high speed change of direction middle sector. Comes Daniel Ricciardo now into the stadium section. Oh, he's gone wide. He's off the circuit. You can't be doing that, Daniel. Lap time invalid, surely. Off the track and back on. At turn... Oh, God only knows. Turn... What would it be? 3... 7... Oh, I don't know. Turn 16, something like that. And Ricciardo goes P10 with that. So Ricciardo's on a 1 minute 20... 1 minute 20.1. But yeah, it should be lap time deleted anyway from Ricciardo going wide there into the stadium section. There's a cut to Max Verstappen coming out of the final corner. They're taking something wrong with... is it Fernando's car, that? With the Alpine? Yeah, they're taking apart the front suspension there on Alonso's car, so he probably won't be coming out again. He sits 13th, 2.2 seconds off the pace, although on the medium tyre, so it's not really representative. As here comes Perez then to the line. Improves, but stays P6. I tell you what, Merc are looking quick here. Yeah, Mercedes are looking strong. I'm more impressed with Aston with the fact that they were last on Team 0 points after Australia. Yeah. Yeah, they were. They were P10. Vettel missed the first 2 races, and it was a nightmare, wasn't it? And now they've come through, and they'll probably finish P6. I think they're only a point behind... No, what was it? What are they on? I think they're only a point behind Alfa Romeo, or something like that. It's really close. So, you know, Alfa Romeo not scoring bags of points, are they? Alfa Romeo scored all their points in the first half. Aston Martin is scoring all theirs in the second half. And Aston are going to beat them, I would assume. As Gasly starts a flying lap then. He's currently down in P19. 3 seconds off the pace, but we're getting the drivers out on their set of soft tyres doing qualifying runs. Qualifying practice. With less than 10 minutes to go. 3 points. Oh, is it just 3 points? Yeah, 3 points away. I back him. I back him to do it. And he's already backed out of that lap as Pierre Gasly. Too much traffic, I think. Yeah, too much traffic for Gasly, I think. Yeah, look, everyone seems to be at turn 4, turn 6. Yeah. So, yeah, 9 minutes to go. It's Russell, Hamilton, Verstappen, Norris, Bottas, Perez. As Tsunoda goes P7 then on the soft tyres. Oh, yeah, he did lose it. But he's got Lance Stroll on his left as well. It's not exactly ideal, is it? Whoa. And Gasly with the mistake. As we see Kevin Magnussen winding up to take it to a start flying lap. And it's not a representative first sector time from Kevin Magnussen. He's well off the pace. He's not even personal best. Oh, Haas are having a difficult end to this season, aren't they? What a shame. Qualifying will be very interesting to see if Mercedes really are this strong. Can we see a Mercedes pole position tonight? I think it's possible. I know they got a pole in Russell got pole in Hungary, didn't he? I remember going sick when that. Yeah, Russell got pole in Hungary, but it was an obscure one. It was unexpected. I think they genuinely got the pace here. We're watching Esteban Ocon on a flying lap into the stadium section. He comes, don't go wide like everyone else, Esteban, and stays within track limits. I wonder if Ricciardo's lap time did get deleted or not. That's sure if you go wide there in quali, surely that's lap slung. Surely you can't just go wide and make up your own racing line. You know, sure you go all four wheels off the circuit. That's it, mate. Game over. Perez goes P4 then, so it's now Mercedes 1-2, Red Bull 3-4. Verstappen to the line, but it's not a personal best. He's gone half second slower than he did before. So stays P3, Max Verstappen. 5 minutes to go. As Gasly comes around the final corner to improve. He sits last and only goes to 19th. So Gasly with a big move from P20 to P19. Incredible scenes. 2.8 seconds off the pace. Not a good year for AlphaTauri this. And they're looking worse than ever before. In Mexico. We had the car broken down yesterday. Liam Lawson with his front left brake on fire at the end of the... Was it the end of FP2? You know, it's not been a good weekend for AlphaTauri, as we see Leclerc coming through that middle sector, taking as much curb as you want through turn 8 and 9. DRS now down the back straight. Don't go wide, Charles. Nicely riding the curb there into the hairpin stadium section and locks a front tyre. Not ideal. Locking a front left into there, and now around the final corner to cross the line and go P4. Splits the Red Bulls, does Charles Leclerc. Okay. But full 7. I tell you what, Mercedes are looking good here. They're full 7/10 of a second off the Mercedes. Sainz crosses the line, goes P6. He's 9/10 of a second behind the Mercedes. This is the most competitive we've seen Mercedes in a race weekend. This, I know they've had other good practice sessions where you think, oh, could it be, but this weekend I really think yes, it can be Mercedes weekend. This They're looking very strong. You know, unless both Ferraris and both Red Bulls just messed up their laps, which as well is possible. But regardless, Mercedes are looking good going into qualifying. 3 minutes to go. Vettel team radio. Vettel saying it's shocking. Vettel not happy with the car. Yeah, Vettel complaining about the car, and he's at P18 at the moment. Not good. Alonso not been now on the... Alonso the only man not to do a lap on the soft tyres. Or at least the only man not to do a quick lap on the soft tyres. Fernando Alonso. As Vettel starts a flying lap. Probably his final flying lap of this session. And he's struggling. Might not be a P6 this weekend for Sebastian Vettel, judging off what he's just been saying on team radio. Not happy with the car at all. Seems to be... 2.6 seconds off Sebastian Vettel in P18. And he's not a personal best Sector 1 either. Alonso goes P13 then, so Alonso has now set a lap time on those soft tyres, but it's not a brilliant one. 1.6 seconds off in 13th. You know, Alpine 11th and 13th. Norris up there in P7. Is it advantage McLaren in the battle for P4? And it's a massive lock-up for Vettel into turn 14. Whoa. He's not happy with that at all, is Seb. He is just shaking his head as he comes around the final corner there. Traffic everywhere, yeah. That was, yeah, it's not good for Seb. Yellow flag? No. Must have been a brief off for someone there, but we see a replay on board with Vettel into turn 4. Oh, it's just understeers wide. Yeah, it's not good. The Aston looks a handful. Oh my God. I think he locks... Yeah, I think Paul Dress is right. I think Vettel locks the front and the rears into turn 14, which is... unbelievable. What do you do with your brake bias at that point if you're locking the front and the rear at the same time? You're dead out here. Give it up. Park it up. As we see Leclerc looking like he's winding up for one final attempt. So with 10 seconds to go, Leclerc starts his final flying lap of the session. Can he improve by 7.5 tenths to challenge the Mercs at the front? I'd say probably not, as he loses a rear end in turn 1. And they are going aggressive, especially in turn 2. They're going aggressive and bouncing over that orange inside curb, which seems kind of nuts in these cars. But they're doing it. They're going for it. They want to trim off as much of that corner as they can, despite the ground effect and all the rest of it. Leclerc now into the middle sector. Down a couple of gears and chucks it in. Oh, they nearly cut that corner completely. That's madness. Oh, and they're really tentative as well in turn 10. They comes down into the stadium section now, but I didn't realise how much they cut in that turn. I think it's turn 7 or 8. How much they cut in that is kind of taking the mick. As it comes around the final corner, Charles Leclerc. Is he going to improve? I don't think he is. He's not personal best sector 1 or 2. It's going to be a Mercedes 1-2 in final practice. George Russell with a 1 minute 18.399 is going to be P1 in practice. Mercedes looking as strong as they've looked this season. This is the strongest they've looked this season going into a qualifying session. Hamilton just a tenth off it, and they are half a second quicker than Max Verstappen's Red Bull in P3. Charles Leclerc 7 tenths off. Perez 8.5 tenths. Sainz nearly a second. Norris a second. Bottas a second off. They're 6th, 7th, 8th. Tsunoda P9 a second and a half away, as is Alexander Albon up there in P10 in the Williams. Then comes Ocon, Zhou, Alonso, Ricciardo, Gasly, Stroll, Schumacher down in 17th. Come on, Mick. Latifi, Vettel, Magnussen. And that's it. Sorry if the stream was laggy. I know someone was in the comments before saying the stream was laggy. Sorry, I'm going to reboot the internet before quali. I'll be back on. Let me set that off. Yeah, I'll be back on at 8:45 UK time. Thank you for joining me for final practice. Please do drop me a like if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're into Formula 1. Like I say, back at 8:45 for the for qualifying for Mexico City Grand Prix. Mercedes looking rapid. Can they take pole position? Can Mercedes line up 1-2 on the grid? Seems mad to say this season, but Mercedes looking very good. See you all in what, an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. Catch you in a while, guys. See you later.